in the pit of hell, which you might call Washington, D.C. We're down here to check out some symbols and go into some, break down some symbolic meanings that's here in this so-called capital. If you would pan over, you will see what's called the Washington Monument. Now, this in actuality is an obelisk from ancient Egypt. Now, the reason why they refer to it as a Washington Monument is because the word monument means to remember. What are you to remember? Wait, we got a woman right here. It says the Washington Monument. What are we supposed to remember?
I'm a Canadian, and I was just listening to you to find out. I would think the greatness of a country, the democratic principles behind America.
But why would they have a pyramid or a obelisk?
I hate to tell you, to remind yourself of the women, you know, Cleopatra from Egypt? No. That's
actually, it's a phallic symbol.
Yeah, is it?
It's a symbol of it's a phallic symbol.
Is that right?
This goes back to ancient Egypt.
Yeah, that's right, okay.
So when you see this obelisk or the Washington Monument, you're supposed to be reminded of ancient Egypt. Because this society basis goes back to the ancient Egyptians. That's why if you take out a dollar bill, somebody give me a dollar bill. You see here the Washington Monument, which we know to be the obelisk. It says here on the dollar bill, it says there's a pyramid with the so-called all-seeing eye.
Oh, okay.
Now, the pyramid, again, goes back to the ancient Egyptians, right? Then it says on the dollar bill, to the obelisk, the symbol on the dollar bill, and by the way, this is not even United States currency. A United States dollar is actually a 1 troy ounce of silver, which is the silver dollar. That's a real dollar. That's why we have a thing called inflation. But going back to this dollar, so-called dollar, which we call a FRN, a Federal Reserve note. Federal Reserve is a privately owned corporation. On this dollar, can you get this? It says, Annuit Coeptis, which means announcing the birth. And on the bottom it says Novos Ordo Seclorum. Novos Ordo Seclorum means the New World Order. You heard the term the New World Order?
Is that Latin?
It's Latin, right. Annuit Coeptis, Novus Ordo Seclorum. Then it goes on to say, on the other side of the seal, there's a ribbon in the eagle's beak that says, E pluribus unum. Now the term e pluribus, right, comes from the word plural, everyone. Unum means one. The whole world under one banner. The e pluribus unum. Now, if the brother would give me the scriptures, give me the book of Genesis, 11th chapter. And let's go to the point where it speaks about the Tower of Babel. We're showing you that the United States, really, their whole history is based on the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Babylonians.
Yes,
okay?
Have you read Poisonwood Bible yet? By King's Lover? Read Poisonwood Bible. She uses the Tower of Babel in there.
Well, I'm going to get that book.
Yeah.
Mention that book again?
Poisonwood Bible.
And who wrote it?
King's Lover. King's Lover. She wrote Animal Dreams. She wrote Animal Dreams and Poisonwood Bible. It's a very, very good novel.
Okay, I'm gonna get that book,
yeah,
and I'm gonna read it.
The minister is tied in with power.
Well, she's probably part of that secret organization.
Probably.
Do you know there's a secret organization that controls the whole world, including Canada?
I would imagine.
It's called the Illuminati.
Is that right?
And your so-called, well, this country's so-called new president, Bush, he gets his orders from the top elite. He's basically a messenger boy. That's all he is.
That's all we all know.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Now, let's read that scripture. You got it?
Genesis chapter 11 verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language.
Oh, wait a minute. The whole earth was of one language. One language. It says here, e pluribus unum. Now the big thing now is a one world government. The UN, the United Nations, the whole world, all nations coming together under one banner, under one religion, under one goal. They're not trying to hide this. But you, the so-called citizens of the United States, and I can't even say these United States, the United States, because it's one place. You idiots, you believe, oh, there's no such thing as a conspiracy. There's no such thing as a one world order. The President, Bush, he doesn't take orders from anybody. He's the chief executive officer of the United States. Well, where is the United States? Pan around, pan around. I'm showing you the United States. It's so-called DC, the District of Columbia. Now read on.
And of one speech.
And of one speech. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the
and
east.
We believe that one speech to be English. Because in order for you to be a pilot, I don't care if you're from Alaska, I don't care if you're from Taipei. In order for you to be a pilot and to fly a plane anywhere around the world, you have to speak that one language, the official language, which is English. Go ahead.
That they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there, and they said one to another.
A plain, a flat land. And this is a replica of that plain. Even though you got little hills and so forth. Go ahead.
And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And
Hold up, they made brick. What is this? Basically, these are slabs of bricks, large bricks, concrete, whatever you want to call it. Look at the White House behind you. Basically made of concrete, brick. What is this building right here? The Smithsonian, concrete, brick. Look at the slabs that's around them. What are they trying to do? Protect it from somebody coming in here to blow it up? All right, read on.
And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
Well, the ancient obelisks, they didn't use the same type of technology, but it's almost the same. And they just finished redoing the obelisks, which the world calls the Washington Monument. Monument, meaning to remember. Remember what? Babylon, ancient Babylon. The Chaldees, the ancient Egyptians. Go ahead.
And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower.
Isn't that a tower?
Yeah, that's right.
This obelisk, the brother said 550 what?
550 feet tall.
550 feet tall. Why wasn't it 650? There's a reason why it's 5'5". When you understand numerology, you have a 5-pointed star. In Langley, Virginia, which is right up the road, you have the Pentagon, which is 5-sided. Go ahead.
Go to, let us build us a city and a tower.
This is that city. Ancient Babylon, modern Babylon, Babylon the Great, this is it right here. How have you become citizens of Babylon? The social security number. Calling yourself a citizen of the U.S., which is nothing but a 14th Amendment slave. I don't care where you so-called live. You can live in the so-called contiguous state of New York. But what do? You become a citizen of the United States, which is right here. Is that thing going? Go ahead.
Let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven.
Get the top. Look at the top of that. Is not the top reaching unto heaven? see these devils looking at this thing? Go ahead.
And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole
Let
earth.
us make us a name. Let us unite. So you have all the so-called states that are connected to D.C., the District of Columbia. In other words, if the District of Columbia was an octopus, all the states would be the octopus tentacles. And that's what's going on. Go ahead.
And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower.
The Lord has already come down. The Lord has sent his prophets. By the way, we're the prophets of the Lord. Go ahead.
Which the children of men builded.
There goes the children of men. So-called white man, the Chinese, the Japanese, the East Indians. Name some other children of men.
The Arabs.
The Arabs, the Africans,
East Indians.
the East Indians,
Aborigines.
the Aborigines. We're not of the children of men. We are the children of God. The Israelites. When you so-called, when you niggas gonna get it through your damn head? You trying to make it with this damn so-called white man. You trying to be a judge, a supreme. You got this nigga Clarence Thomas. He's got the perfect name.
Yeah, Uncle Tom.
He's nothing but a messenger boy. You got this. You have this guy White. He's supposed to be a judge in Missouri, and he wanted to be a judge of the Supreme Court of Missouri. And Ashcroft, John Ashcroft, the Christian that he is, the moral that he is, first of all, Ashcroft don't give a damn about niggas. Which there's nothing wrong with that. He's a white man. He's a devil. He's not supposed to give a damn about niggas. But he's got some nerve calling himself a Christian. There's nothing Christian about him.
Real Christians with Negroes.
The real Christians are Negroes. Pan over here. See these people, all these people are lost, man. Now pan back. Let's continue to read.
And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language.
The people are one, and they have all one language. Go ahead.
And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them.
Right, and now nothing will be restrained from them. These damn devils are doing all kind of wickedness. Read on.
Which they have remained an image to do.
Go ahead.
Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language.
And that's what happened in the ancient world, in ancient Babylon. Go ahead.
So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth.
And see, that's what the Rothschilds don't want that. They don't want people to be scattered abroad. They want everybody to come under one banner, to be centralized. Go ahead.
And they left off.
For example, Israel is a part of the United States. They're not going to tell you that. But how many billions of dollars do they give to Israel every year? And there's a maxim of law. Anything that government supplements, government controls. Now you're not just going to say, well, look, let's just give these Israelis billions of dollars because we like them. What the hell you like them? Why do you like them so damn much? Anything that this government supplements, this government controls. Like, for example, AIM, the American Indian Movement, that's set up by this government, man. The Black Panther Party, that's set up by this government.
That's right.
Or the secret government.
Islam.
Yeah,
That's why they don't want to let Leonard. That's why Leonard Peltier wasn't released from prison. That's why he wasn't given a pardon, because in actuality he was set up to further push that doctrine in the prisons. to get them North American Indians
Right,
into prisons.
he's down with the Illuminati.
Just like Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. They were a part of the same establishment they were claiming to hate. Agent provocateurs.
Right. Yeah. All right, so bring this out. Bring this out. So we hitting a lot of different subjects.
Worship of the sun began in Egypt. This is from the book Satan's Angels Exposed. This is chapter 7. Worship of the sun began in Egypt. On Wednesday, May 3rd, 1978, the United States paid homage to the sun. It was called Sunday. President Carter flew to Colorado to deliver a speech to the Solar Energy Research Institute. There were sunrise services and solar displays by both industry and the United States Army. About 12,000 people attended the speech making at the Washington Monument, which is where we are today.
The Washington Monument.
The entire United States population had its attention focused on the sun.
So that, I mean, he mentioned Jimmy Carter, which was a sellout, which was a product of the Illuminati.
Right, wasn't he supposed to be a Christian?
Yeah, he's supposed to be a Christian, talking about being thrice born. That's nowhere in the scriptures.
And the Bible speaks about worshiping the sun, the moon, or the stars.
As a matter of fact,
That's
get
in the
that in
scripture.
Deuteronomy. Get that in Deuteronomy.
Can I throw this in real quick?
Was it
Now,
419?
if
Go
you
ahead.
notice the way that this is built, the way they built this geographically, the way it's built, the obelisk and the Lincoln Memorial, the sun sits right in between both of them. And you're looking at the sun right now. So geographically, they built it to where the sun plays a big significance in this whole setup, this whole philosophy, the worship of the sun, like he just brought out.
So bringing out the scripture of the worshiping of the sun, moon, and stars.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 19. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven.
Now go back and read this, what you just read about Jimmy Carter.
It was called, right, it was called Sunday. President Carter flew to Colorado to deliver a speech to the Solar Energy Research Institute. There were sunrise services and solar displays by both industry and the United States Army. About 12,000 people attended the speech making at the Washington Monument. The entire United States population had its attention focused on the sun.
I didn't have my attention focused on the sun. I was probably watching cartoons, man. I didn't give a damn about it. I don't even remember that. Read that last part again.
About 12,000 people attended the speech making at the Washington Monument.
Go ahead.
The entire United States population had its attention focused on the sun.
Right, notice it says the entire United States population. We broke down where the United States is, so maybe he was talking about the congressmen and the senators.
Right.
And certain other elites, because the United States is not the contiguous United States. For example, New York, Colorado, Nebraska, Idaho, Alabama, New Jersey, Florida. You have what's called the contiguous states, or these states. Contiguous means touching. You have the state of New York, which is here in Washington, D.C. Then you have New York State, or contiguous New York State, which is further up north, which you're not a citizen of. You're a citizen of the United States, which is D.C., the District of Columbia.
And as we were on our way here, we noticed all the streets were named after the different states, all in capital letters, proving what the brother just said, that it's all a part of this United States corporation. The United States is a private corporation. Whenever you see United States in all capital letters and not in lowercase and uppercase letters, the capital letters means that it's a corporation. We are in this corporation right now. And we noticed that all the different streets were named after the different states, like Indiana, Los Angeles, all around the Washington area.
Right. So basically, when you really when you really get an understanding, you'll find out that there's no such state government in New York. The judges in New York State are really judges of the United States that sit in the contiguous state, and they build their so-called court buildings, and then you give up your jurisdiction. So you don't have to come to the United States to be a citizen of the United States. Going back to what I said, D.C. is United States, not the contiguous New York State, or not the contiguous Jersey State. That's why they say the state of New York, the state of Jersey, the state of Nebraska, the state of Illinois, the state of California. When you go before the state of California, it's through contract. Because the state of California is in D.C. Once you get the understanding. All right, go ahead. Read on. Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 14. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments.
Now, is this country... Another thing, they swear in on the Bible. And they say they swear in on the Bible, and they make an oath to uphold the Constitution. And yet they say that they're Christians. Now, what does it say about making an oath and swearing? Give me them two scriptures. Matthew 5:34, and get me James 5:12.
I got Matthew 5:34.
All right. Matthew chapter 5, verse 34.
Now remember, when Bush took the oath or sworn to become the president of, remember, not these United States, but the United States. Singular. Washington, D.C. His power does not go beyond these so-called, what's supposed to be 10 square miles, which is now 63, which is now the whole country, because you became a part of the United States, because a sovereign can rule their subjects no matter how far they go. If you're a subject of a kingdom in Africa and you come to America and the king summons you back to Africa, that particular country in Africa, you have to come back, because he has jurisdiction over you even though you're outside of his geographical jurisdiction. And how did that come about? Through contracts. All right, go ahead. Where we at?
Matthew chapter 5, verse 34. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven...
Now, wait a minute. Bush is supposed to be a great, upstanding American Christian, right? John Ashcroft is supposed to be he's supposed to be known for being a Christian, a moral individual. How the hell are you going to be a moral individual when you had slaves in this country? How in the hell are you going to be a moral individual when you know that there's drugs running rampant throughout this whole country? How are you going to be a moral individual when you know that outside, if you can walk, maybe for a 10-minute walk, you're going to walk right into the ghetto. And then you got simple-ass niggas that support these devils. I'm going to tell you who they are. They're the devil. You already know. We've been saying this for years. They're the devil. And you got a real mean son of a bitch that's going to take the seat of, what's his name? Attorney General. But yet he's supposed to be moral. Well, one thing that's good about him, he doesn't like faggots. He tried to deny it. He doesn't like faggots. He doesn't like niggas. He says he likes them, but his actions show something completely different. And if he was a true Christian, he would admit that Jesus Christ is a black man, God is a black man, the children of Israel are black, the angels are black, Then he would admit, right, then he would admit that he's the devil. Then he would admit who the Israelites are, because the Bible from Genesis to Revelation speaks about the nation of Israel.
That's right.
The whole subject matter of the Bible is basically this: the Most High, His Son, Christ, who you call Yahweh Shai, the children of Israel, the prophets, which are the children of Israel, the angels, which are a connection of the spiritual being of the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, which John Ashcroft is not a part of. He looks just like a damn Nazi, man. This society is is reverting to a Nazi setup, a Nazi rulership. You're living in a Nazi society. Now I'm gonna break down the word Nazi. Nazi is an acronym for National Socialist, which this society is a socialist society. And that's one step before communism. Socialism is, look, I'm the head of government. I'm going to allow you to set up a business. You got to say you're interested, but you got to pay me fees, taxes. When you really want to get down to it, this is a feudal society. What does the word feud mean? Everybody uses the word feudal. Oh, back 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, you had feudal societies. What does the word feudal mean? It's Latin, it means fee, which is tax. You go through a red light, 3 o'clock in the morning, there's no car in sight. You didn't cause any type of dangerous situation, and they'll pull you over. Do you know this is dangerous? I'm gonna have to give you a $150 ticket. You could have hit somebody. It's 3 in the damn morning, there's nobody for miles around. If you park at it, this is supposed to be a free country. If you park at a particular spot and you stay there too long, they'll give you a ticket. And if you don't pay for the ticket, they'll take your car. People say they own houses, they paid their mortgages. And by the way, the word mortgage means death. Loosely translated, it means death note. How many people do you know that pays their whole mortgage without dying? Or gets to pay their mortgage before they die? And a lot of these idiots get a first mortgage, then they set up a second mortgage, so they get this. So basically, the house might be worth $100,000, but because of your stupidity, the house is now worth to you maybe $300,000 because you took a home equity loan.
And you still don't own the house.
And you still don't own the house because you don't own the land that's on the house. Right, you're supposed to have an allodial title, meaning you're supposed to own the land. You're supposed to own the land that the house is sitting on. See, there's a lot of things you idiots don't know. All right, go ahead, let's read on.
All right, Matthew 5:34.
And then you claim to know the Bible, man. You got these jackass preachers, man, and then this simple nigga, they finally get the Most High here. They finally got this nigga. Jesse the Jackass Jackson. They got him good this time. He's supposed to be this upstanding, moral, black Christian leader, the good Reverend Jesse Jackson. The good Reverend Jesse Jackson. This so-called black, great Christian moral leader. This so-called black, great Christian moral leader. They found out he was popping this other woman, a young girl, and had a little baby with that young girl, and then called himself paying support for the child, but the money didn't come out of his pocket. He filtered the money through the PUSH organization, the Rainbow organization. This is a low-life scum, man. I'm glad I knew that the Most High was gonna finally reveal that nigga for who he really is, man. And then a lot of you simple niggas, well, he's all right, we forgive him, especially you stupid-ass nigga women. Well, next time your husband goes out and messes with another girl and has a couple of kids, forgive him. You're trying to stab him in his sleep. Forgive him. You bunch of damn hypocrites. You ain't gonna forgive him, but you'll forgive Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, but you know what? Furthermore, Jesse Jackson, his dumb ass didn't do nothing wrong. Now he says he's a man of the Bible. If he was a man of the Bible, he'd go in the scriptures and break it down. He didn't do nothing wrong.
That's right. That's right.
And break it down.
Because a man can have more than one woman.
But he can't, because you know why? He let the state become a third party.
Yep.
So you know that means, and that's what is that called? What is that called? Bigamy?
Bigamy. Yep. The state does not.
Whatever the hell that means.
He's married. He's wrapped up in the system.
He's wrapped up in the system.
That's what.
And then he said when he walked down the aisle, I promise to love, respect, and obey.
Yeah.
What a woman's supposed to say that? Till death to do us part.
Fucking crazy.
He went out and got a damn license to get married. 2 slaves getting married. He popped another slave, had a little baby, a sucker. Right?
Talking, I bring this up.
Oh yeah, bring it up.
Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked God saith,
That's the so-called white man.
what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Right, that's why they don't declare the statutes of the Most High, although they take an oath on the Bible, but they don't declare the statutes of the Most High. They declare their own statutes.
Statutes of the state.
Man-made statutes. Go ahead.
Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words.
Esau, the so-called white boy, he hated this instruction. Like I said, Ashcroft is not going to come out and admit that the Heavenly Father is black, that Jesus Christ is black, that the Israelites of the Bible are black. He's not going to come out and admit that he's an Edomite, that he's a devil. So how can he be moral? How can he be a Christian? Is that it?
A little bit more. Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee.
Right, because they have their codes. United States Code annotated. United States Code Service. United States Code. And a stack of books. Go to any law library. There's 50. It's broken down into 50 titles. You got the IRS code, Title 26. You got the so-called military code, Title 10. And so forth and so on.
Sections and subsections.
Sections and subsections and sub-subsections. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Who are the saints of the Most High? The nation, the Israelites. The so-called Negroes, West Indian, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominicans, the people of Indian and North, the people of North, Central, and South America of Indian and Negroid descent are the Israelites. Go ahead.
And think to change times and laws.
Right, because they swear in on the Bible, but they don't follow the Bible. Now, hold the scriptures that I said hold, and go back to Matthews. Matthews 10:34.
5:34.
I'm sorry, 5:34.
Matthew 5:34. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne.
Right, so you're not supposed to take an oath to become president or any office and go, in other words, I swear by great heaven that I will exercise this office that is bestowed upon me. You don't do that. Go ahead.
Nor by the earth.
Nor by the earth. You don't go down and kiss the earth. Go ahead.
For it is his footstool.
Go ahead.
Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king.
Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black.
Go ahead.
But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
Now, That's why a man's word is his bond. Are you going to do this? Are you going to help me tomorrow? Yes, I am. The only excuse he has is if he drops dead or if he becomes sick. And even if he becomes sick, he's supposed to still get out there and come and help you. And you're supposed to excuse him.
Yep.
Sign on the dotted line. Swear on this. That means there's no trust in this society. Now go to, where you at?
I had something to go with exactly what you brought up.
Go ahead, bring it out.
This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. It says, "My little children, let us not love in word."
The little children is referring to Israelites. Go ahead.
"Neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth."
Right, in deed and in truth. Meaning don't lie. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Be decent. Be a man of your word. If you say, if you elect me president of you, which he was elected. If you know anything about the Electoral College, he was elected. And that's in the Constitution. What the hell? There was more popular votes. The hell with the popular votes. The Constitution speaks of an Electoral College. It's left to them. That's why you have senators. That's why you have congressmen. They're supposed to represent the interests of the peoples of these United States. Which you don't understand. Go ahead.
All right, that was it. I'm done. I had something from Psalms 55.
All right, go ahead, read it.
All right, Psalms 55, verse 21. "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter."
Right. That's a politician. They make all these promises. And you men mostly do that. When you see a woman, a nice woman, you want to get this woman, you tell her that you got a brand new car, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to Yale Law School. You got all kind of money, you got a hell of, you make $55,000 a year on your job. That's on your first job. Your second job, you make another $30,000. Your father set up a trust fund, but you don't want to touch the trust fund right now. Because I'm disciplined, baby. I don't need that money. I'm not into material things. But I'm into you, baby. Go ahead.
But war...
You know what I mean. You know about them damn so-called lines that you use. Go ahead.
But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
And that's this devil. That's this devil. The Bush administration is nothing more than the Trojan horse. But it's no different with the Clinton administration. It was no different with the Carter administration. It was no different with the FDR administration. It was no different with the Woodrow Wilson administration. Because these are all incremental steps to set up a new world order under the authority of the Illuminati in England. Like I'm gonna say this, you go to the so-called United States Postal Service, the Constitution speaks of a post office. It doesn't say anything about a postal service. You know what a postal service is? It's the same thing as UPS. It's the same thing as FedEx. It's the same thing as DHL. It's nothing but a private corporation. But you really go to the United States Postal Service thinking that you go to the post office. And this privately owned corporation in this so-called country is owned by people that are not even citizens of this country. They're owned by a corporation in England. By,
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 19. At least thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon, and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldst be driven to worship them, and serve them.
And that's what you did, driven to worship them and serve them. Like if you open up your daily news or whatever newspaper that you get, there's always a section, an astrology section, where you go to that astrology section and then you read what month you were born And then you say, this is what's going to happen today. Oh, you're going to make a lot of money. Okay, let me go invest in this particular company. Let me invest in this stock. And by the way, going to your birthday, that's astrology. Like I said, the birthday, see, a lot of you talking about you're going to have a surprise party, but don't give me no damn surprise party, man. Don't even tell me happy birthday. Matter of fact, somebody give me Job, the 3rd chapter. And let's start from the 1st verse.
Job chapter 3, verse 1. After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. And Job spake and said.
Hold on. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed this day. Go ahead.
And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born.
What?
Let the day perish wherein I was born.
I thought your birthday is supposed to be a happy occasion. I thought that people were supposed to come up and say, surprise! Read that again.
And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. Let that day be darkness.
Let that day be darkness. He cursed his birthday. Go ahead.
Let not God regard it from above.
Well, so why does man regard your birthday? Where in the Bible does it say Jesus Christ had a birthday party? Now somebody get me Job 14 and 1. 14. And hold that, because we're going to read some more into that.
I got it.
See, we're giving you a smorgasbord of all kind of information. It's not one basic topic. All right, go ahead, read.
All right. Job chapter 14, verse 1. Man that is born of a woman.
There goes your birthday. Man that is born of a woman. Go ahead.
Is of a few days.
Is of a few days.
And full of trouble.
And full of trouble. That's talking about Israelite men. It's not talking about Bush. Bush, the day that he was born with a golden spoon in his mouth. The same with Ashcroft. Smooth sailing for them.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
In this society, boy, you scared to death of death. Oh no, please! Take me to the doctor. Stick them damn, stick that nonsense in my damn, my vein, the IV. Give me that pill. Put that damn life machine on me. Put another heart, put a plastic heart, a mechanical heart in my chest. Put a baboon's heart, a monkey's heart, a pig's heart in my chest. Whose lung? That's a black man's lungs. And they work? Put them in there. Just go open me up and put them damn lungs in me. Give me them damn kidneys. There's a time that you look forward to death, but you damn faggots, you're afraid of death, man. And they show you that in these wars that you fought. That's why in Title 10 of the United States Code, it tells you there's certain exemptions of someone being inducted into the military or serving in the military, voluntary or otherwise. One of them is a felony. If you're a felon, you can't join the army. You can't fight. But there's a note. But there's certain exceptions. You know why? Because they know a lot of Negroes are felons, and a lot of Puerto Ricans and Indians and the other tribes, a lot of them are felons. And that's basically what they want. They want some criminalized type of brothers to join the army. They want some tough guys that been locked up, that live that hard criminal type of life, because that makes the best soldier. But they'll let that slide, showing you that they're a bunch of damn hypocrites. Read on.
Job chapter 3, verse 4. Let that day be darkness. Let not God regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it.
Where you at?
Job chapter 3, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it.
Everybody, when it's your birthday, they're putting up, especially women, they put up different colored balloons. They put up a big ribbon, happy birthday, George. They get you a Babylonian so-called birthday cake. Where's that in the Bible? They give you gifts, drink liquor, get drunk. Half of your guests wind up dropping dead or wind up in prison because they got in car accidents. You're a stupid society, man. Then you have these damn surprise parties, and women get into that stuff. Surprise! I've been and killed somebody, man.
Yeah, right.
Talking about surprise. Men don't like surprises, man. They don't want a surprise. Just give it to me straight, man.
Yeah.
Just lay it right on the table. But this faggot ass, effeminate society, man, that's what you believe in. You believe. Go ahead. Halloween, so-called Christmas,
Easter,
which all goes back to the ancient Babylonians. Which all goes back to the sun god Ra. And by the way, going back to the obelisk or the Washington Monument and the worship of the sun, the ancient Egyptian word for sun is Ra. Sun worship, because they worship the sun. I read on.
As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come.
What? Let it not be joined unto the days of the year, because, oh, wait a minute, your birthday's coming up next week. You make it one of the special days of that year. Go ahead.
This is Satan's Angels Exposed. It says why? Because national leaders believe the sun offers man's last hope of survival in a day of depleting energy. The sun is man's last hope for life on this earth. Many turn to the sun in awed worship. The worship of the sun is not new. Over 3,000 years ago, the Egyptians worshipped the sun. While the Babylonians called the sun Utu, the Egyptians called it Ra.
Now stop right there. Now, if these so-called leaders, these presidents, are supposed to all be Christians and worship the Most High, why don't they trust in the Most High to save them? Why are they worshiping the sun? Why is their last hope to believe in the sun, that the sun will save them? That's why the brother read earlier in the book of Deuteronomy about the worship of the sun. Let's read that again. Get that again. Deuteronomy 4:19.
Deuteronomy 4, verse 19. At least thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon, and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them, and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
It says all nations, so all nations are supposed to worship the Most High. And that's going to happen in our kingdom. There's going to be a one world order. Right. There's going to be a NWO. And we're going to control and run and have authority over you in the new world order. Mm-hmm. And that order is going to be under the authority of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and you so-called white people. I'm going to use this word. Now brace yourself. You're going into slavery. You're not just going to die. You're going into slavery. All right, go ahead.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Read again and read it with authority, brother.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven.
This is beautiful, man. Like I was telling these brothers when we were coming down here, we were listening to an ancient prophet, or meditating on an ancient prophet, I'll say, and the way he would speak and the way he believed in what he was saying. That's why the Pharisees, scribes and Pharisees looked at Yahushua and said, he doesn't speak like us, like them. And they said that he speaks with great authority, meaning when you speak with great authority, that means you know what you're talking about and you truly believe in what you're talking about based on the way you're saying it, based on the way you're bringing it out. And that's how I feel right now. See, the average Joe nigga, look at them crazy niggas. Well, let me get ready to go to church tomorrow morning. And what do you do in these damn churches, which are going to be burnt down?
That's right.
Along with this whole so-called country, America's going to be destroyed, burnt down, smoke, dead, gone. In the near future. In the near future. Oh, go ahead, finish reading that. Read that again.
Daniel 7:27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Who are the saints of the Most High? Brother, give me the scripture on the saints of the Most High. You should know where it is.
Daniels.
No, it's in Psalms. The key scripture. There's more. There's a lot of scriptures on it, but the key.
Psalms 148 and 14.
Start from the 13th verse.
Okay.
Start from the 13th. Go ahead.
Let them praise the name of the Lord, for his name alone.
Let them. Go ahead.
For his name alone is excellent.
And you don't even know the name of the Lord, but we've been saying the name, but you better not use that name.
Ashcroft doesn't know the name.
Ashcroft doesn't know the name. Go ahead.
His glory is above the heaven and the earth.
And he's black, by the way. Go ahead.
He also exalteth the horn of his people.
Horn represents power. Go ahead.
The praise of all his saints.
The praise of all his saints.
Even of the children of Israel.
Even of the children of Israel. Is Ashcroft one of the children of Israel?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Thank you. Is Bush one of the children of Israel?
Hell no.
Even though they married into the Israelites, that doesn't make them Israel.
Devils.
Like his brother Zeb Judah, they slated him to be the next president. But he was involved in that SNL scandal going years back. What was it, 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. What he did was he married a damn simple-ass Issacharite woman and had a son, and his son looks just like an Issacharite, a Puerto Rican, a so-called Negro. But he's a tear. He's a so-called white man.
Yeah, for you dummies.
All right, go ahead. Is there more to that?
Oh, no, that's
okay. That was the key point. Let's go back to Daniel.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Which we just proved who they were. Israel. The Israelites. Go ahead.
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
All dominions, including them white boys down there. Pan on them white boys down there. You got something? Okay.
Psalms 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
In other words, that's going to be our presence. We're going to get the heathen, the other nations, we're going to own the other nations. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful?
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
We're going to possess the whole planet Earth. Is that it?
No, it's a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron.
Hold up, we're going to get physical? Read that. No, that's maybe you're reading from the Quran, brother. Give me another scripture. That Bible been tampered with. I think it's been tampered with. Give me that. What scripture was that?
Psalms 2 and 9.
That's in the. Wait a minute. That's in the Psalms. Black women, especially old black women, they love to read the Psalms. I thought the Psalms was all about love. I thought it was all about peace. I thought it was all about passing out lilies and doves flying around. Let's read that.
This is Revelations
For
chapter
you old
2.
Black woman at home. Go ahead.
Revelations 2 and 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end.
It's not talking about the Most High. This is the Most High talking. In other words, this is the psalmist But the Most High is speaking through the psalmist, speaking about a prophecy for the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
To him will I give power over the nations.
To him. Now who's that him? Well, y'all don't put that in there. That's talking about the Lord. That's talking about Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. It might be talking about Jesus Christ because he's gonna get the inheritance, right? But who else is gonna get the inheritance besides Jesus Christ? Somebody give me Romans the 8th chapter. I believe it's around the 16th verse. So you can't get around this. You can't get around this. Right, 2:25.
Romans 8 and 17. And if children, then heirs.
I'm sorry, start from 15.
For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear.
In other words, we're in bondage to this day. Ashcroft is not in bondage. Bush is not in bondage. Clinton is not in bondage. Go ahead.
But ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby
we're going to be adopted back. The Father's going to adopt us back, take us back in through his media, which is his son, which we are also sons, which the world calls Jesus Christ, who is really, his real name is Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
Go ahead.
The Spirit itself.
Abba, by the way, is a Hebrew word for father. Go ahead.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High.
In other words, the Spirit is showing. When you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it tells you all the curses that the Israelites will go through. And if we had time to go into it, we'll go into that whole chapter and break it down. It tells you about slavery. It tells you about us going from one place to another place in slave ships. It mentions the word Egypt. And this is the new Egypt. Washington Monument, the dollar bill, Egyptian symbol, the obelisk, the pyramid on the dollar bill, the all-seeing eye. Go ahead.
And if children, then heirs.
And if what? If children, then heirs.
Heirs of the Most High.
Yahweh Shai is the heir, but we're going to be adopted to the Father, so we're going to be heirs as well. Because as you read on, it's going to explain it. Go ahead.
And joint heirs.
And joint heirs, baby. Joint heirs. That means if my Father gives me a great inheritance on this earth, and I say I love this brother so much, I love this brother so much, me and this brother been friends ever since we was little bitty boys. I can make them joint heirs. I can have children and hate my children and say this is more of my family than these children. So in my last will and testament, in my trust, I name him as the chief or the head, #1 beneficiary. Joint heirs. So even though Israel was cut off by the Most High, when Yahweh Shai, whom the world called Jesus Christ, came on the earth, died on the cross, he became the sacrificial lamb. That's why he's also known as the Lamb in Revelation. He became the sacrificial lamb to redeem us back to the Father. Joint heirs. So you can't get around this Ashcroft. You can't get around this White. You can't get around this Bush.
Ashcroft is not a joint heir.
Ashcroft, you're not a joint heir. You're gonna be, you know what's gonna be left of you, what's left of you might be a joint. Maybe a knee joint. Go ahead.
And joint heirs with Yahweh Shai.
Go ahead.
If so be that we suffer with him.
Are we suffering? You damn right we're suffering. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna hit you with something. All Israel has suffered when they went into slavery, captivity, hardcore captivity. Go ahead.
That we
like that a couple of years ago, they made this damn made-for-TV movie about the Negroes that worked, that were servants in the damn White House. And they had certain Negroes being, how you doing, Mr. President? Dude, what kind of shit, yeah, I'm gonna say that word, what kind of shit is that? And let me say something about this damn TV network called the BET. That station is an embarrassment to black people, man.
It's located right here in Washington.
Well, now it's on 106 and Park Avenue. Now they're trying to get up into New York. Oh, well, that's all right. They got to put the light, because that light went down. They got to get the artificial light. This fake sun.
The light of America shall soon be put out.
Right, the light of America shall soon be put out. We're not going to read that, though. But anyway, this TV station called BET, the Black Entertainment Network, all they got is black women that look real light-skinned, that look like Puerto Rican or white women. The guys that's on it, one of the so-called anchor men on their news program, looks like a damn white man. Then you got this, what's her name, Sadida Quita? It's like a computer-generated bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's an embarrassment, man. Then all day, you have nothing but music videos.
Niggas talking shit.
Niggas talking shit all day.
You niggas are cartoons.
Yeah, they're cartoon characters.
And that's a damn shame. See, there's a lot of Negroes that don't want the society to go down. A lot of Negroes don't want America to be destroyed. A lot of so-called Negroes in this country, around this whole country, this so-called continent, they don't want this society to go down. A lot of them is doing good. Puffy doesn't want this society to go down. Jordan doesn't want this society to go down. All right, we're going to read one more scripture and we're going to get ready to close it.
Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
Right. The kingpin of that is Yeshaya in New York. New York from Yeshaya from New York. Like Benny from the Bronx, Yeshaya from New York. Read.
That take counsel, but not of me.
They ain't taking counsel of the Most High. Yeshaya is leading you guys up there at Madison Avenue to hell. But some of you gonna come at it like Aria and Shaw. This is some inside information. Go ahead.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Right, he's covering with Lexus Jeeps, Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, whatever he wants. I wonder where he gets the money from. Go ahead.
That they may add sin to sin.
That they may add sin to sin. Wickedness. Go ahead.
That walk to go down into Egypt.
See, this is a beautiful closing scripture, because we're speaking about Egypt. Didn't we start off by talking about the obelisk?
Yeah.
This phallic symbol? Go ahead.
And I have not asked at my mouth.
They don't give a damn about the Most High. Go ahead. As a matter of fact, from what I hear, they put out an order. You can't say the word Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
Pharaoh. Who's the Pharaoh of this country, of the new Egypt? Bush. He's the new Pharaoh. That's his house right there. Yep. That's his house right there.
They'll get it on camera. Get these stupid white people on camera too.
Oh, we are going to put a cursor. All right, turn back around. Yeah. Turn back around. Go ahead, read on.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Is that it?
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
Right, you're going to go down with Bush. You're going to go down with Clinton. This society, this system, or this country is going to go down. And with that, we're going to close by putting up a prayer. We're going to put up a prayer on this place.
Yeah.
And repeat after me.
Yahweh Shai, Shalak, Rayam, this obelisk, Shalak, Rayam, this obelisk, Shalak, Rayam, this obelisk, the water, Amun.